Making girls fall for you left and right is not exactly a superpower that all of us are born with. In fact, for most males out there, the idea of hundreds of girls chasing us down the street because we're just so freaking desirable is nothing more than a pipe dream. But for real players, what is nothing more than a dream for most men is real life. Successful players, or the guys in school that every other guy wished that they could be, are not some special unicorns that no man could ever dream of being. The real truth is that players are just like you and I, except they hold a set of beliefs that is quite a bit different than most modern men, which allows them to achieve results that are quite a bit different than what most modern men are able to achieve. So how do they do it? What allows them to be so smooth and so successful when it comes to courting our female counterparts? This is where beliefs come in. Belief number 1, women are replaceable. Love them or hate them, players are very good at what they do, and part of why they are so good is because they hold the belief that women are, in fact, replaceable. What this means is that players view any girl that they meet as someone who could be easily replaced. And in the world of the successful player, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, so when it comes time to move on to the next girl, since they truly believe that every woman is replaceable, every woman actually becomes replaceable. Men are always coming into contact with what they believe is the perfect girl for them, believing that once they've met her, that she is the one. Or in other words, guys often believe, mistakenly, that there is only one soulmate for them and that no other girl will be able to compare to this quote-unquote soulmate, and that once they have lost her, they will never be able to find another girl like her again. But the truth is that every girl is replaceable in the same way that every guy is replaceable. It is almost human nature to believe that each one of us is special and super important and totally different from every other human on the planet. And this belief is especially common in the West, such as in the US, but the truth is that while we are all special, we are not quite as special as we like to think that we are. And in fact, there are thousands of other guys who are almost exactly like me and you, but just a little bit different because nobody is exactly the same. And the same can be said for women. Now the reason why successful players hold this belief is because they have seen the other side of the fence. Players have been with enough girls to know that, as special as we think she is, there are thousands, if not millions more, just like her, and as harsh as that sounds, she is just as replaceable as anybody when it comes to suitable mates. Really successful players have been with enough women to notice patterns, meaning a girl who they once thought was totally unique is actually just like 5 other girls that they have already dated in the past. And in realizing this, they have developed the powerful belief that every girl is replaceable. But why is this belief so powerful and life-changing? When a man holds the belief that every woman is replaceable, he no longer views each one as some sort of ultra-rare resource, and instead he sees her for what she truly is, which is just another girl who is very similar to millions of other girls. And by holding this belief, players do not give off the desperate, clingy vibe that so many guys unknowingly give off when they think that they've found the one. Whenever a man holds the belief that something is replaceable, that thing loses all of its power over him and it sets him free to behave in ways that he normally would be too afraid to behave in. One of the top 3 reasons why girls end up leaving a man in any given relationship is because he at some point developed some sort of belief that she was the only girl for him. And over time, this can lead to feelings of jealousy and insecure behaviors which will actually cause the girl to do exactly what he fears most, which is leave him. Belief number 2. What girls say is not important. Instead, it is how they say it. It has never been a secret that women love to talk, and when given the opportunity, they will talk for hours at a time because their brains actually reinforce the behavior of socializing by releasing pleasure chemicals within the reward centers of their brain. All players hold the belief that what girls say is far less important than how they say it. But why? Anytime a girl is talking to a guy, what she is saying to him is really just a reflection of how she feels at that moment or what sort of mood that she's in. This is simply the nature of female communication, and it is the reason why girls frequently say things that completely contradict something that they might have said the day before. It's not uncommon for girls to say one thing with words while implying something entirely different with their body language. Successful players realize that what a woman says means very little in comparison to how she says it. Eye contact and other forms of nonverbal communication are the primary means of communication used by females, and the reason why players are so successful at what they do is not because they are some sort of magical wizards sitting here from a distant planet. It is because they have learned how to read a woman's nonverbal communication, and they have realized that this form of communication is way more important than the actual words that she speaks. Belief number 3. Players first. Players didn't just stumble into success by accident. They had to learn it over time, through experience and through repetition. And one of the most powerful beliefs that they have developed as successful players as a result of this experience and repetition is that the player always comes first. When attempting to create attraction with a girl, most guys fall into the trap of going out of their way to please the woman that they are trying to court. And while in the moment, girls will make it seem as if they want you to sacrifice your own feelings and desires to fulfill theirs, but what they really want is a man who worries about himself first. Now, this doesn't mean that if a building were burning down that a player would run out and leave everybody else inside to fend for themselves. It just means that players don't bend over backwards to please women. It means that players know that girls act like they want you to put them above you or to do things that you don't want to do just to make them happy, but they don't actually want you to do these things at all. What sets the successful player apart from the typical guy who has trouble getting any girl to like him is the belief that a man should never bend over backwards to give a woman what she wants. Belief number 4, the player is the prize. For hundreds, maybe thousands of years, men have been taught, usually when they were young, that they are not the prize. Most of the time this happens subconsciously, and it's not uncommon for a man who grew up around older sisters and no brothers to believe that he is not the prize. Usually this occurs because when you grow up in a household where women hold all the power, because there is no father figure and no brothers or no positive male role models, it would only make sense that you would continue to believe what you have always believed growing up, and it's that women are the prize. Ask yourself this, in most Hollywood movies, who is chasing who? Is it women chasing the men, or does it always seem to be the man who is chasing the woman? Men have and will always be expected to make the first move, but there is a difference between making the first move and putting yourself in the role of being the guy who is always chasing the girls, or being the guy who genuinely believes that he would be lucky if he ever got a chance with the girl that he likes. And the reason why successful players are so successful is because they legitimately believe that they are the prize or that girls would be lucky to have them. And as is usually the case with beliefs, if you believe it, it typically will come true for you. So if you believe that you'll fail, then you'll probably fail. But if you believe that you are the prize, then who knows, you might just find that girls start chasing you. And you might just find that other people start believing exactly what you believe. Believing that you are the prize is not about being super narcissistic or overly proud. It's about simply having confidence in yourself and believing that what you have to offer is great and that you, as a man, don't need to chase women and that they should be chasing you. Growing up, guys who never really had much luck with girls were always the guys who believed that players were some mythical creature, almost like the ruby weapon aimlessly wandering the map of Final Fantasy VII, and no matter how many times they tried to beat them, they could never seem to get a win. But what if you didn't have to beat them? What if, instead, you could learn from them and adopt some of the powerful beliefs that make them so darn good at what they do? This would have the potential to completely change your life for the better. These are 4 beliefs of successful players, and with that said, you guys are awesome, and until next time, thanks for watching.